shotgun.
Hello friends, welcome to Unicorn Poop Knits, the channel where I show you how to make whimsical knitted creations. In today's episode, I'll be showing you how to make these very simple turquoise cotton socks that are done in a knit one through the back loop, purl one rib, and the rest of it is stockinette stitch and shaping. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So using some leftover yarn from a previous project that I made a couple years ago, I cast on 30 stitches using size 2 US double pointed needles, and I knitted for approximately 3 inches, not exactly 3 inches, just long enough to get an idea of what it would look like knitted up, and it's very beautiful. As you can see, this is a lovely turquoise, and there's a lot of variegation in the yarn. There are some lighter parts and some darker parts. It's a beautiful yarn. I remember that it's cotton. I can't remember what the brand is, and I believe the weight is sock weight because it knits up very well with US size 2 needles. So now I'm going to figure out my gauge. I have this tool here, and I'll just take a knitting needle and count the number of stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'd say it's about 12. So that's 12 within 2 inches divided by 2 is 6 stitches per inch. And my ankle circumference is 10 inches. But every time I make socks, they're always too loose and they fall off of my feet. So I'm gonna make them smaller this time, and hopefully they'll stay on better. So I'm going to make the circumference of the socks 9 inches to make them a little tighter. So 9 times 6 is 54. I'm going to cast on 54 stitches. And I'm also going to start with a knit one through the back loop, purl one rib, because I find that it's a tighter, stretchier rib, so hopefully that will help with the fit as well. I cast on 54 stitches, and then I worked in a knit one through the back loop, purl one rib, for about 10 rounds or 1 inch. So here I'm knitting one through the back loop. See how the needle goes through the back loop? And then purling one. Then I worked in stockinette stitch for 20 rounds or 2 inches. This is just simple stockinette stitch, just knitting normally. Just a simple knit stitch in the round. Here are the 20 rounds of stockinette stitch. Now I'm knitting across the first double pointed needle. And then I'm turning the work to purl across the first and fourth double pointed needle. As you see, I'm purling across the first double pointed needle. And now I'm going to purl across the fourth double pointed needle. And then I'll turn again and knit across the fourth and first double pointed needle. I'll continue doing this stockinette stitch for 20 rows or 2 inches to form the heel flap. This is what the heel flap looks like when it's done. Now I'm transferring all the stitches from the first double pointed needle onto the fourth double pointed needle to turn the heel. It's easier when they're all on one needle. To make the heel flap, I slip one purlwise, then I knit 13, then I slip, slip, and knit those 2 stitches together. And then I knit 1 and turn the work. Then I slip 1 purlwise and purl 3. Then I purl 2 together. And then I purl 1. Then I turn the work and slip 1 purlwise. I knit 4, and then slip, slip, and knit those 2 stitches together. And then I knit 1, and I turn the work, then I slip 1 purlwise, purl 5, then I purl 2 together, and I purl 1. Then I turn the work, then I slip 1 purlwise, knit 6, and then I slip, slip, knit those 2 stitches together, and I knit 1. Then I turn the work, then I slip 1 purlwise, purl 7, Then I purl 2 together. And purl 1. And then I turn the work. Then I slip 1 purlwise, knit 8, then I slip a stitch, slip another stitch, and knit those 2 stitches together. Then I knit 1, and I turn the work. Then I slip 1 purlwise, purl 9, then I purl 2 together, I purl 1, and I turn the work. Then I slip 1 purlwise, and I knit 10, then I slip a stitch and slip another stitch, and I knit those 2 stitches together, and then I knit 1 and turn the work. Then I slip 1 purlwise, purl 11, then I purl 2 together, and I purl 1, and I'm counting some stitches to make sure everything is going well. And yes, I do have enough stitches, so I turn the work, and I slip 1, knit 12, and then I slip a stitch
And slip another stitch. Oh, I have to count my stitches first. Yes, I do have enough, Erin. And then I knit these 2 stitches together that I have previously slipped. And the heel is turned. This is my favorite way to do a heel. I find it looks so nice and it's so easy. So now, along the left side of the heel flap, I pick up 20 stitches. And then I slip the 20 picked up stitches onto the previous double pointed needle. And then I knit across the second double pointed needle. I knit across the third double pointed needle. And then I picked up 20 stitches along the right side of the heel flap. And then I join to continue knitting in the round. And then 3 stitches before the end of the picked up stitches on the left side, I knit 2 together. And then I knit 1. And then I knit across the second double pointed needle. And I knit across the third double pointed needle. And at the beginning of the picked up stitches on the right side of the heel flap, I knit 1. And then I knit 2 together. And then I knit to the end of the round I continued decreasing every other round until there were 20 stitches total on the fourth and first double-pointed needle combined, and I rearranged the stitches so there were 12 stitches on each double-pointed needle. Then I worked 10 rounds in stockinette stitch, so just knitting around. And then to begin decreasing for the toe, I knit across the first double-pointed needle, then I knit 2 together, and I knit 1, then I placed a stitch marker to mark where I'd be decreasing for the toes. On the next double-pointed needle, I knit 1, then I knit 2 together, and I knit to the end of this double-pointed needle. On the third double-pointed needle, I knit to 3 stitches before the end of the needle. And here I was about to knit 2 together, but then I realized that's not the right spot. So I knit to 3 stitches before the end of this double-pointed needle. Then I knit 2 together, I knit 1, and I placed another stitch marker to remind me where to decrease for the toes. At the beginning of this fourth double-pointed needle, I knit 1, knit 2 together, and then I knit to the end of the double-pointed needle. On the next round, I just knitted around, and I continued decreasing every other round until there were 20 stitches total. To graft the stitches together, the yarn needs to be about 4 times the length of the length across where it will be sewn together. First, I removed the double-pointed needles. First I removed the stitch markers. And then I measured approximately 4 times the length of the stitches to be grafted together. And then I cut the yarn at this length. And then I put all of the stitches from the first double pointed needle onto the fourth double pointed needle. And then I put all of the stitches from the third double pointed needle onto the second double pointed needle. And then using Kitchener stitch, I grafted the stitches together. So you see I put the needle through the front and back stitch knitwise, and then I put it through the front stitch purlwise and the back stitch purlwise. And I remove these two stitches from the needles. I continue doing this across until all the stitches are grafted together. And this is usually how I finish socks. I find it comes out really nice. This is also how I sew together underarm holes when I'm knitting sweaters. And I find it comes out really nice, and I really like these socks. They came out great. I'll have some footage of that in just a moment when this footage of the grafting stitches together is done. And they're really cute socks, so enjoy!
Late at night in the dark, at least when I'm not with you. It's like without you I just fall apart, and I don't know what I'm heading into.
Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos, and if you decided to make these socks, please feel free to post a photo of them on Instagram and tag me at Unicorn Poop Knits. I'd love to see how these came out and how you like them. Stay whimsical, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!